Boxing fans, this is going to be a weekend to remember. There's major fights all weekend long, and I know you are not going to want to miss a single second. And while you're watching, don't forget to get in on all the action with my partners, DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings is offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. So don't wait. Sign up right now. All you got to do is download the DraftKings app. When you sign up, use my promo code Sonnen. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in same-game parlays for a chance at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same fight. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress fights as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6, giving you a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers use my promo code Sonnen. Bet just $5 and you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Sonnen only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey Siri, call Ariel Helwani.
Calling Ariel Helwani.
All right, guys, we got a little thing going on here. Let's see if we can get Ariel to pick up. Bear with me. Mr. Basketball. No football.
Your call has been forwarded.
Oh, thanks a lot. What a prick. Did you hear that voicemail? What is that? That's like a new... All right. So, there's something going on. And this is actually very complex. If you want it to be. Okay? Let me start with this. Might be the best way to tell this story. One of the reasons the UFC has never been accused by anybody ever of doing wrong in business. Hey, you screwed me. One of the reasons they have never, there's been class action lawsuits that you've read about against them. They never said that. Nobody ever has said I had a deal that wasn't honored. And that is so serious to the UFC that if you believe that you had a deal, if you believe that you had a conversation, if you in fact had a conversation and you left with a certain interpretation, which is not what was meant, then do it your way. Oh, getting a call. I thought it was Helwani pulling through. But the UFC will do it your way. And that has happened before a number of times. And all the way down to people taking advantage of it. Something in our industry, when you're working fast, particularly with short notice fights, you know, hey, here's your show money, here's your win money. And there's been people that have called back after the fight and go, well, I thought you meant I add those together. I didn't know you meant, hey, if I just show up, this is what I get. If I win, this is the amount. I thought if I win it, you add it together. And the UFC guys, I'm talking big checks. I'm talking six-figure checks. If you say that you thought that was the agreement, they will overnight you a check. Now, it's important that you understand this. It's very important that you understand. If you get caught taking advantage of that rule, your ability to get somebody on the phone at the UFC again may come to an end. But either way, it will be done the way you claim you understood it was agreed to be done. I got to really illustrate this to you. You got to understand that to understand this next point. There has been a confusion on Ian Garry, the backup fighter. When Dana White said Ian Garry is my backup fighter for Blahal versus Jack, did Dana White mean that Ian Garry would be the actual backup fighter, which comes with a contract, it comes with an agreement for licensing or the municipality that's overseeing the fight, and ultimately, and most difficultly, travel by you and your entire team, and you must defeat the scale. If any one of those things are gone, the whole thing is gone. Okay. Or did Dana White mean, hey, between now and then, if anything happens with that fight, something's already happened. That's how we got Jack in there. Supposed to be Rachmanov. Something's already happened with that fight. So did Dana White mean, hey, if something happens between now and then, the first guy I'm going to call is Ian Garry. And that all got cleared up. And Ian Garry's the one that cleared it up. And he said, no, I had this negotiated. I took a short notice fight against Protas. And I had negotiated in there that if I win, I become the backup fighter. Now, by the way, I don't love that story because he did not take a short notice fight against Protas. Just so you know. I mean, that part of it that is simply fiction. The poster for that fight came out well over a month ago. So I don't really know what the idea of short notice is. If you get 5 weeks, conversation for another day. But Ian Garry negotiated, hey, I'll come do this. I'll do this for short notice. I'm going to beat this guy. But when I'm done, I want to be the backup fighter. Now, herein lies the question, okay? Does Ian Garry negotiating to be the backup fighter in Ian Garry's mind, and believe me, that's whose mind they'll go with. If Ian pushes back, they are so sensitive to the idea of not honoring their word that they will go with what Ian Garry thinks. So here's the question. Does Ian Garry think beating Protas, activating backup fighter, means that he get licensed, he train, he show up with his team, he check into the hotel room, he beat the scale, and he be ready to go in? And when that is done, they are now done. The deal and the promise is now done. We have all done what we agreed to do. Or does Ian Garry believe that beating Protas makes him next? Because it's a fine line. Garry wouldn't be a BS artist if he said, no, I thought it meant that I was next. It's one of those weird definitions, and I have encouraged our industry a number of times to clarify certain things. Clarify what needs to happen for an interim title. Clarify what needs to happen to strip a guy. Clarify what are we doing with the BMF, and how do you put a BMF champion in the ring and the title's not on the line? Like, not for nothing, but just let's get some clarity. And they've never done it. Clarify what is a backup fighter, what is an alternate fighter. Clarify it. Most people in our industry do not know, experts in our industry, people that are paid in our industry don't know the difference between a number one contender and a number one ranked guy. And I would like to know what Garry believes. I'm going to tell you where I stand. I believe that if he and his team travels, he checks in, he's licensed, he reports to the scale, and makes weight, I believe that their deal is now completed, whether he gets to go in or not. But I will also tell you, I'm going to campaign that he be next. I'm not coming from a standpoint of that's what I believe was agreed on. I'm making a separate point to you. I believe if Garry shows up in 3 weeks on weight and licensed in that municipality, that he instantly becomes the number one contender. And it doesn't matter if Jack wins or Blah wins. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Garry goes next. That's my position. Let's see if this confusion ever even rears its head. It might be a dead issue, moot point. But I'm bringing it to you now that it might not.